Now that he's defended his
that's not
argument,
a good example.
To a certain man, that's the whole fucking point, Slimmy.
That's not a good example. That does not prove the
now.
point. You have to show me. I don't know nothing about the woman. I don't know nothing about her.
That's what I just said, Slimmy. That's the whole point that I was making from the beginning.
Man, this is bad, man. This is really bad.
But you associate it with a certain man no longer makes the illusion because you don't know.
No, that does not work.
Oh my fucking!
We're talking about a woman that's literally losing, a woman that was literally losing. We're not talking about if you knew her or not. We're not talking about that. That was never part of the discussion. You can't introduce something new and then use that and run with it. I never mentioned none of that shit. I said someone that we visibly knew who was losing in life that then got saved. So say for instance, one woman, she had 5 fucking kids, all of them by different baby daddies. All of a sudden, some dude comes along. He marries her. She was still a loser. That's a loser. That's what I'm talking about. You can't use an example of something that someone doesn't know. We're talking about a woman that was visibly losing. Everybody knows she's campus loop. Then motherfucker married her, saved her. That's what we're talking about. She's still campus loop.
That's exactly what happened. What are you talking about?
I don't know anything about that woman.
That's my point.
That's his point.
Man, that's not a good point. That's not a good point. That's not a good point. That doesn't make sense. I don't know anything about her. So what I'm saying is,
as a woman can do certain things and a man will still come and clean your life up.
No, and
that's not the fuck what we were talking about.
I'm with Slimmy.
Man, that's bullshit, man.
But you're choosing to misunderstand what he's saying, though.
I'm not misunderstanding anything.
You can see her nude body, but at the same time, she is the president's wife. To some men, that would be a loser. She would be a loser, but she got saved. And now you don't even know that she was a loser. That's kind of what he's talking about.
Well, that's only if you. But that
for some
Anton
people,
he was kind of slick there because
he was.
I had only named one of the characteristics that I would consider a sign of somebody being a loser, and then Anton pivoted us, and then he put with his definition. He said, women and men, I disagree with all of y'all, with all the women, because a woman being a loser is not the same thing as a man being a loser, because women are based off, their success is usually based off of the man that they're with. That's Anton's philosophy. I didn't say I think that that's how you define if a woman is a winner or a loser. I didn't hear Molly or Kim say that. So if you go down the road of buying into Anton's theory on what makes a woman a success, then okay, let's walk down this whole road with Melania or whatever. But that's not where we all started. Because I'm sitting here like, what does this have to do? Whether she modeled nude or not, she could still very well be a loser by definition of maybe what my attributes, my characteristics that I would think of are or not. I don't know, which is also why I said, I don't know. Just because the public doesn't know something doesn't mean it's not so. So that whole example just to me.
That's exactly what it means, because how to define somebody as a loser is based off of cultural norms and public perception. So you can't identify somebody as a
but see, just you being able, I hate to interrupt, but even you saying that, that's your thought on it. Your thought is that's how you define if somebody's a loser. That's not, I just sat here and just kind of thought of stuff from myself. I wasn't thinking about how would I define somebody as a loser based off of cultural norms. But maybe for you, that's how you would judge somebody. But that's not my list. That might not be Kim's list. So now to point out somebody like Melania,
in general,
it's not about general right now. When you're talking about this is relative. This is all relative to the person that you're asking. It is relative. Anytime there's no understood.
Yes, it is. There are some things that we all universally, based off of our cultural norms, understand and agree with. It just is what it is. You can't sit here and say that a woman that got 5 kids by 5 baby daddies is not universally going to be accepted as a loser. It's not subjective. It's not based off of how I feel and then how you feel and the fact that you knew somebody that was a crackhead or whatever like that. No, everything is not objective. Some things we can all kind of come to a conclusion that universally, you know what? We don't really accept this as being good or bad, and we all kind of see it. We can't use that as a trump card and say, well, you know what? That's your opinion, and this is my opinion. But no, the fact of the matter is, we all universally look at something and say, you know what? She a fucking
in some ways, but you're saying her being.
How do you get to those things? So let's go with what you're saying. So assuming what you're saying is true, assuming what you're saying is true, then how do you get to be the one who gets to determine what those things are if we all universally agree?
Keri, the point that first of all, I asked y'all all y'all opinion first before I ever chimed in.
You cut me off. I named one.
No. The first thing that you said, Keri, the first thing that you said when I asked you,
I got my list right here.
Keri, stop, Keri. The first thing that you said when you answered the question was, "I agree with Kim and Molly."
I agree.
That's the first thing that you said. No, hold on, Keri. Hold on. Because you developed your list afterwards. You agreed universally with Keri and Molly and said, I kind of agree with both of them.
That is Keri.
What did I say? What did I say I agreed with them? Do you remember?
Keri, why are you playing this game?
How am I playing a game when I'm asking you if you heard what I said I agreed with?
That's the first thing you said.
Did you hear what
the first thing that you said was I agree with both Kim and Molly. Everything that they said made sense to me.
About what?
Then you developed the list in order to try to combat me.
Anton.
In order to try to combat me,
Anton, you hadn't even spoke yet. How was I making a list to combat you?
I didn't say me, Keri. I waited till everybody else spoke. You didn't develop the list until after I started speaking. You agreed with both Molly and Kim on what a loser was. It wasn't subjective.
That's not true.
It wasn't based off of opinion.
Anton, I said what I said I agreed with was the fact that both men and women can be like both. To me, this is for everybody. But I said let's stick with the women. That's what I said. I might not said that verbatim, but I said I agree with the sentiment of what they said, which is that men can be losers, women can be losers. The characteristics that I have listed here can be applicable to men and to women. So that's why I said I agree with what they're saying in that men and women could both be losers according to what I would say are the signs of a loser. And then I proceeded to say, all right, but let's focus on the women. And I said the first one would be being like you're like a victim. And I couldn't explain it that way. So I said not really taking accountability for self. And then you said, hold up, let me ask. So you flipped the question. And that's when you said, do you think that men are more losers or women are more losers? You literally cut me off in the middle of me naming all of the attributes that I would say.
Do I think that men are more losers or women are more losers? And this is how I know you're being disingenuous because you're switching the words.
Oh my God.
I said,
it might not be verbatim.
I said, do you think that there are more women losers than not? 50, do you think that there's more women losers or not, or the other way around? And then you said, well,
first of all, I don't talk like that.
Hold on,
so stop. Like I'm some little, don't do that. Don't do that. Stop imitating me like I'm in this little
I didn't say
what was that? Well,
losers or women are more losers. I said, do you think that there are more women losers than not? You said, well, you know. This is for real.
This nigga trolling.
This is for real.
This nigga trolling big time.
You said that, Keri. And then I said, come on, Keri. Let's be for real. Come on. I said, I said, it's called a guess. I said, it's called an assumption. And then you said, that's like saying my father was like, you don't know everybody in Montana. And that's what happened. It was never about men versus women. That is not what happened, Keri.
Okay, but here's you're holding on to something that I'm not even trying to argue. I'm not up here trying to tell you that I can say everything that I said, you said verbatim. My point in bringing up the fact that you cut me off in the attributes that I would say would be somebody who's a loser is you cut me off as I was answering the original question and you threw in a new question. So if
you
I
didn't
just
answer the question because you was fence riding and you said you couldn't answer the question.
That's not true. That's
You
not
did.
true at all.
You said you couldn't answer the question.
That's not true at all.
Because your father said you don't know everybody in Montana.
Go ahead, you got it. I'm gonna pull a
Oh,
sling.
no,
You
I
got it. No, because what you're doing is you're grandstanding right now. Like what no, you are because the fact of the matter is I tried to answer the question that was up on the screen. I started to list, literally, I started with the first attribute. You stopped me after I finished naming the first attribute and threw in a new question, which is a part of why I was thrown, because first of all, the question was like, what? Like, I don't know. And two, why can't I finish answering the question?
What was the new question that I asked, Keri?
The new question was what you just said about do I think women are more losers than not, or however you said you phrased it. That was your question.
Why did I answer that question? Why did I ask that question, Keri?
I have no idea.
I asked the question because you agreed with both Molly and Kim universally that what they said was truth as far as what a loser woman is. So now I asked an additional question so that we can get more context and have a deeper conversation. When I asked the additional question, because you didn't have a thought on your own, you agreed with Kim and Molly. So then I said, okay, well, you know what? I said, you know what? Let's ask a question differently. I said, are there more loser women? If you had to guess, are there more loser women or not loser women? And you then still was fence riding, and you said that you didn't know because your father said you can't use any kind of litmus. You don't know everybody in Montana. That's the real context behind what happened and why I asked an additional question, because you didn't give any additional context that was any different than Kim and Molly. Then I gave my opinion. Then I said, well, you know what? I think that it is different and you can't equate. I said, I disagree with you, Molly, and Kim. And then I gave the context to say that we evaluate women based off of the men that they associate themselves with, especially when we don't know what their past looks like. Then Slimmy said, and then I use Melania Trump as an example. Slimmy said, well, what is it that you can do? Because what is it about her past and all of this? What's wrong with her? I said, Slimmy, you proving my point. Because we don't look at Melania Trump in the same way of what her past is based off of the man that she's married to now. And that is the full context of what happened. So where am I off at?
She's taking the time out.
No, I'm not. I'm going back and watching, but two, I'm not going.
You always play it when you want to prove a point.
I'm coming. I'm looking for it. Number one, and number two, I'm not gonna keep going back and forth with you on this, because you're going to keep, like, you're gonna overtake me. You can overtake me. You're louder than me. You're gonna keep. I mean, no, you are. You do. I just told you. I'm literally telling you the way that I was answering the question. You cut me off, and you asked a new question literally while I was answering. And for you, I guess you interpreted it, and that's fine. You interpret it as I didn't have my own thought. I'm riding the fence. That's cool. That's how you took it. For me, I'm literally like thinking of my answers, which is what led me. See, and again, you even made my list about you. My list I wrote down because the whole dynamic of the conversation switched. So I'm like, let me write down what I was gonna say, because I'm thinking I'm gonna get back to it at some point. But you don't even think I came up with the list for myself. You think that I came up with the list because
You're
I'm
not
trying
even
to come back
justifying your
at
argument.
Anton.
All you doing
I don't
right
have an
now.
argument. I don't have an argument.
Okay,
I have
your
an opinion on the
conversation.
question. No,
All you're doing right now is
I
making
don't
excuses as to why you won't actually answer the question to substantiate your argument.
So
And
here you go telling
you're
me
giving
about
an
me.
excuse. You're giving an excuse
Which is why
as
I'm not
to
going.
what you don't necessarily care about because you're saying I'm going to overtake and this and this and that. Just substantiate your argument.
Substantiate what argument, Anton? I don't even know where to go with you at this point because I think that I already told you my recollection of how this whole thing went the way that it went. According to you, you got a whole different perspective on how we got to where we are. And so if you're not going to yield to what I'm saying and I'm not yielding to what you're saying, what's the argument that I need to substantiate? Like I've already said what I was in the process of doing. You don't see it that way. You have it in your mind that all I said was I agree with Kim and Molly. That's not all I said. That's
okay,
not all
what else
that
did
I
you
said.
say? What else did you say?
Like I said I agree with what Kim said in terms of there was two parts to the question. And the second part, I forget what was it, the descriptors. I said in terms of the descriptors for women, because I do think that this is a list that can be applicable to men and women, like in terms of being a loser. I said in terms of the descriptors, the first thing would be, and I'm not saying what I said verbatim, so I might not have said the first thing, but I said if you kind of take on like a victim mentality, and I was going down the road of victim, and I went more into accountability, like not being able to take accountability for yourself. And then I was about to go into my next thing, which had to do with character, but y'all didn't hear that. But I'm saying that was what my next thought was going to be, was with character. And you said, all right, hold on, I don't know if you said like, let me ask another question or let me add, however you transitioned us, you came in with a new question. And your new question was that about, do I think that women are more losers or will be more losers? And yeah, that question, to me, that question was kind of like, that's a vague, unimportant question, really, because we're really talking. I would be grabbing my opinion from out of the sky, which is why I said I don't know. Like, to my dad's point, I don't know people in another state, so how can I have an opinion on what the majority of people are in this regard? That was my point in bringing it up. But you're making fun of it, and that's fine. I don't care. I know we gotta have jokes. You said my dad, my father said, da, 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 da. You know what you did.
God.
You know what you did. You know what you did. You know what you did, Anton. But that's okay. I'm cool with it. That's what I'm saying. I understand.
Making fun of it.
I understand that when we get to a certain point,
right.
When you get to a certain point, you can either battle with you or you can yield. And I learn more and more and more after a certain point with you. I start yielding.
So now this is about me. It's not about the fact that you couldn't substantiate your argument. This is about me.
See, you see what I'm saying? Here you go again. You keep saying I didn't substantiate my argument. I didn't have an argument. You see what I'm saying? You want to battle. I just was sharing my opinion. So I'm not going to sit here and try to substantiate an argument. There's no argument on the table.
How did you jump in? Okay, Keri, how did you jump into this part of the conversation? Do you remember?
What part? Jump into what
right
part?
Now. Me and you going back and forth. Because who I was going back and forth was Slimmy. I was saying to Slimmy, once you said that you didn't have an opinion because you can't judge people that live in a different state or whatever.
I did not say I didn't have an opinion.
I'm speaking.
You see what I'm saying? I know what you're doing. I already know your MO.
No.
I know your MO.
How did you get back into this part of the conversation?
I'm not new to this. I'm not.
How did you get back into it? Do you even know how you got back into it?
I know how Anton brought, huh?
Do you even know how you got back into this conversation?
When did I leave the conversation? I'm on the panel. When did I leave?
Women are so dumb.
I wanted to say your mama dumb. Oh my God, that's the old Keri. Lord help me. Oh man,
you said it, Keri. It's fair.
I didn't mean to.
I mean, it's fair.
I just because you said I was to say, Mama,
No, I don't mean
it.
it. I don't mean it at all. It's not even. That's why I apologize, Quentin. I'm just like, that was what I wanted, but I know that was bad.
I would tend to agree. It's okay.
And that was nothing personal to your mom. I'm so sorry.
Keri, can you read the list?
So my list is lack of accountability.
Don't say nothing else. It's over.
Poor character. Waste of potential. Like waste of potential. Not taking responsibility for you, and if you have kids, stuff like that, your responsibilities. Doesn't plan for future. So like you kind of do everything in the now moment. You have no concept for planning beyond the now. And
I just realized
women, especially with women, especially, I put bitter. Because I think now here's what I will switch up. Some of these I think apply to women more than men. So like the bitterness, I don't think I would ever label a man as bitter. So let me retract. It's not exactly the same based off of my list, in my opinion, that men are the same as women in terms of the loser characteristics. Because I definitely think a woman can be a loser because of her bitterness, and I don't think that's applicable to men. But that was what my list was.
I got on Keri goggles because I like the fact that she put accountability as number one. No, that had nothing to do with it. That's how I try to drag everybody down now.
I'm not even saying nothing anymore.
No, I see what's going on here.
If I start to deep dive,
I see what's going on here.
Nope. Let me tell you. Because if I start to deep dive into the list, you know what Keri's gonna say? He just wants to battle.
I love his voice. I cannot stand that.
Why use that voice?
That's a trigger for me. My husband uses a fake voice for me too. These are not my voices.
Man.
See, now she triggered because her husband and I do the same.
I am triggered. I'm being honest. Let's see if you'll be sensitive.
If multiple people are saying it, Keri, it must be true.
No, Quentin, he does a different voice.
What does he do? Let's see what does the hubby do?
We listen and we don't judge.
I can't think. I got Anton's voice in my head so much right now. I can't even think about it. He'll do it again soon, I'm sure.
Listen, here's the gist of it. At the end of the day,
Anton's not good. Yeah, he be.
I believe, I have to qualify this by saying that I believe, because I don't want this to go the wrong way, right? I believe that Slimmy, literally my point, when he didn't know shit about Melania Trump, and Slimmy don't yield either, but it's okay. He didn't know anything about Melania Trump, and I use her as an example, and he walked right into the trap.
No, you moved the goalpost.
I never moved the goalpost.
Moving the goalpost because I was talking about a specific thing. You started talking about something else. I was talking about something that's known. We all can visibly see that this woman is losing, because you can't equate drowning to that being something that was unknown. You can't equate that. So if someone's drowning, you obviously know that they need saving.
No, it was unknown to you. Everybody else knew.
That doesn't. No.
Yes. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. It was never a secret.
Okay, and we're talking about her posing nude and her nude.
Yes, if you can see a chick's pussy, why would you marry her? We all universally will say, including yourself, Slimmy, you never turn a hoe into a housewife.
I don't think her nudes make her a hoe, though. I think in different parts of the world, your body is seen as artwork. We just
respectfully, Kim, men don't look at it the same way that y'all look at it.
Nah, that wasn't what I was talking about, though.
It's not universal.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah, that wasn't.
I got it.
That needs to be a shirt, Slimmy.
You got it.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe we should pass out them shirts instead of hats next time. No, it's not.
It depends on how you feel about it. Your body is a work of art. It doesn't have
Are we
to be.
really going to sit here and say that me being able to pull up your pussy?
I mean, is that really what it is?
Are we sitting here? Are y'all? No, hold on.
I'm gonna Google Melania Trump.
I need to understand what the fuck is going on here.
Is it really
that? Y'all going to tell me that me being able to pull up your pussy is not whole behavior?
I can't pull it up.
Is it really that?
Go on use a Tor browser, my nigga.
Oh yeah, there it goes. Oh wow.
Use the private browser, bro.
Oh yeah, it's on.
Is that what y'all gonna tell me?
Are you being literal right now?
No,
yes, you can pull that.
I want to know. I want to know if that's if I'm off, because maybe my standards are a little bit high.
No, you're
safe search
off. Like this is not. You're being literal when you say you can look up into her generations.
No. Women being on OF, you don't wipe them up. So, yeah, you don't wipe them up. But what I'm saying is, I didn't know that that's what she did because I don't know nothing about her. That doesn't fit this scenario because I just don't know I don't know nothing about her at all.
Okay.
He just looked it up, so that actually negates your point because it's right there.
You got it.
If you can see, if he just looked it up that quick and found and
it's been all over the news, Slimmy. It's not a secret that we could see her.
That doesn't matter though. What I'm
I'm
saying
just
is
saying
I didn't know.
It's not a secret.
Okay, y'all got it, man. This is ridiculous.
A lot of people didn't know their grandmas was a 304. They still love them, so it's okay.